Girl, you can swallow that thing that can swallow an elephant. Only you the way you get the pity. Patience of things that can never be ready.
One of my favorite songs from Prince Emmanuel, Your Way. Check your time, it's 29 minutes before 10. Live on the hill of Mogadishu Cantonment, the nation's capital, Abuja, Nigeria. When I make a promise, I keep my words. Last week I had your corporate law teacher with me, and I told you that it's going to be consistent. We want to help a cousin make sense of how much they will need to know about registering business and what it entails. Now, I'm looking at what we want to do today, very fundamental. Some cousins who would talk to me would say they heard me earlier on registering a non-profit organization in Nigeria. So I'm looking at what it means. If you have ever tried to register a non-profit organization in Nigeria, chances are you've come across two options: incorporated trustees and company limited by guarantee, both processed through the Corporate Affairs Commission. Now, here's the problem. Many founders don't actually understand the difference. Some register incorporated trustees when they really need a company limited by guarantee. Others chose based on advice from friends, not a legal or strategic guidance. But this choice matters, and I'm thinking that you need to hear me correctly. It affects how your organization is governed, how donors see you, how transparent your finances must be, and even how far your impact can grow. So today, we are asking the important questions. When should you go to incorporate trustees route? When is a company limited by guarantee the smarter option? And what mistakes should you avoid before filing those documents? To help us unpack this conversation this morning, we are joined by a legal expert who I love and I call your corporate law teacher. Should I call you Barrister Helen? I'm trying to be very formal with this production today. You heard me.
Works.
Welcome, cousin.
Thank you so much.
Please introduce yourself again so that they know what I'm talking about.
Okay, thank you for having me. Good morning to all our cousins out there listening. Mm-hmm. My name is Barrister Helen. As I like to say, I'm the first cousin. Every other person's come behind.
I heard that. Now, I'm loving the way she calls that, and I believe you would want to make sense. Now, this is what we want to do today. We'll, in the course of the program, open the phone lines for you for your question and contributions. This conversation could save you time, money, and future headaches. And the cousin just noted on the flip side of the radio, I didn't see you, but I had a feeling that you did something like that. So the first question would be some foundation question that we need to have. In simple terms, what is the difference between incorporated trustees and company limited by guarantee? And why does this choice matter? I told you I'm in for business today.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Cuz, for having me.
You're welcome.
So, like you said, this program is for us to enlighten people. Very well. I mean, this is a knowledge that you don't just speak by the roadside. We are bringing this to people. So, incorporated trustee and company limited by guarantee, they are very similar, and at the same time, they have very distinct difference.
All right.
So, incorporated trustee is a type of entity that CAC registers.
Okay.
That it's governed by a body of trustee. Now, when you hear incorporated trustee, what it literally means is a body of trustees or members called trustees incorporated with CAC.
Okay.
Yes, that's what it means. Now, why do you do this incorporation? It could be for a non-profit organization. It could be for your religious association. It could be for your social associations, for mosques, churches. So basically, most non-profit organizations register with CAC as an incorporated trustee. This is to enable them have like a legal entity under which they can carry out their affairs, such as like opening a bank account. It's a full-blown legal entity. Right. It can sue, and it can be sued in its name. It can own land. It can transact on its name. That's the registered incorporated name.
Okay.
Right? That's for incorporated trustee, and it is usually most suitable for totally non-profit organizations like religious organizations. I mean, you do not set up churches to make profits.
Some people want to tell you they disagree with that. There are tithes being paid on seats and all that. I understand. I just have to say that.
So you do not set up mosques to make profits. Your university alumni, for instance, is registered as an incorporated trustee. It's not for profit making. Yes, but it's just something to give them a legal entity. Now, company limited by guarantee. I mean, from the name alone, it's a company.
Yes, cousin.
But it's limited by guarantee.
Okay.
I think it was last week I was trying to explain to you what this whole limited in the name of company means. Yeah. So when you hear company limited by shares, company limited by guarantee, let me try to simplify it.
Please do.
It means that this registered entity is limited by either shares or by guarantee. Now, what that means is the liability of the people registering this company, the liability of the owners, is limited based on the shares they have or based on the guarantees that they have taken. So, not to confuse us, let me leave out company limited by shares, but it helps me to explain what is a company limited by guarantee. Company limited by shares, for instance, cause you have your business ABC Cause Nigeria Limited. For instance, say you own 80% of the shares, and I own 20% of that shares. Now, in that company, your liability is limited by the 80% that you own. If, for instance, the company run into trouble, you're going to be held responsible for only 80%, and I'll be held responsible for 20%. That is for company limited by shares. So the limitation of our liability is just what that means. Now, for a company limited by guarantee, which we are comparing with incorporated trustee today, company limited by guarantee is that company that the liability of the owners is limited by how much they guarantee, to be liable. Let me just put it that way. So at the beginning of registering the company, all the people that are the owners of the company, let's say you and I come together, we want to set up a company limited by guarantee, and we say, okay, I guarantee to pay, let's say, ₦1 million whenever anything happens. You guarantee to pay 5 million. So our liability becomes limited by how much we both guarantee when we set up the company. Okay, that's foundational in terms of definition. But now, in comparison to incorporated trustees, company limited by guarantee is a full-blown company, but it does not have shares, right?
But it makes profits.
We are coming there.
Oh, I like to hear something. All right, go ahead. Yes, cousin.
Now, it's for also it makes profit, but I don't want to directly put it that way. Yes, because it is also suitable for some non-profit organizations who the profit made from those kind of organizations is poured back into the aims and objectives, poured back into the company. It's not for the owners to enjoy. Share. Exactly. Exactly. All right. You do not set it up, So when you have like a very full-blown, large-scale, say some form of give back project, and you want to have it, you want to run it to have a proper company structure, it is better for you to register it as a company limited by guarantee.
And not incorporated trustees.
Yes. Yeah. So it could be a non-profit, right?
Yeah.
So it could be like so you have some private universities. Some of them are registered as company limited by guarantee. Yes. The ones that undertake not to they just want to give back in the educational sector. Whatever profit they make from that endeavor or from the venture is poured back into to keep growing the business, and the owners and the directors, they do not pocket the profits, right? Yes.
I know you can go on, right? But I think that at least we have captured something very clearly there. Because for me now, as a layman, with the understanding I've had is that when you hear incorporated trustees, is non-profit.
Yes.
When you hear the company limited by guarantee, the profit does not necessarily mean that the money goes to the owner's pocket, but it's put back, giving back to the society.
Yeah, put back into the business.
So foundationally, we've laid something. Now, I want to make sense so that some cousin will be able to know what they want to do going forward. Talking about purpose and vision now. At what point should an organization say we are better suited for incorporated trustees
Okay.
Or we should go for company limited by guarantee. Is it about size, mission, funding, or long-term plans? Talk to me as a legal. I told you I'm ready for this cousin to follow up this perspective.
Yes.
So talk to me. Help us out.
All right.
Am I asking good questions?
Very good question.
She's making me blush. So you're feeling something here. Go ahead, cousin.
Very good question.
All right.
So, when to register as a company limited by guarantee. So, for instance, if you want the affairs of your organization to be properly structured and governed by, the CAC structure for governing companies.
Yeah, cousin.
Right. So it's better for you to register as a company limited by guarantee. Also, if you want to do business, actual business, right?
Yes, cousin.
So you could make some profit to put back into this venture or this company. It is better for you to go with company limited by guarantee, because for a non-profit, for an incorporated trustee, you are not allowed to do business at all.
Oh, you heard that, cousin.
You're not allowed. I mean, you don't set up a church, for instance, or your alumni organization, and you say we are now into selling of mattresses, or it's just come up with some business. No, but for a company limited by guarantee, it's a full-blown company. You can go into business. You can do. It gives you that window. So I think one of the unique difference is the fact that one gives you a window to do business, but whatever profit you make, you're not going to pocket it. You're going to put it back into the organization. Yes. Okay. So that's I think that's
company
one of the
limited.
one of the very distinct difference. Okay. So if you're setting up your organization and you want to, a window to be able to do business to make more money. Some of these non-profit organizations, you rely on maybe donation, you rely on support, and all of that. But if you want to, as much as you look out for donation, you want a window to be able to do some certain kind of legal businesses, legit business that you could raise money to help this project that you want to do. It's better to go as a company limited by guarantee. All right.
Let's talk money now. But before we talk money, cousin, maybe you've got a question for your corporate law teacher. You can come up on 0707 242 6258. The numbers again, 0707 242 6258. For the longest time, you've been struggling. You don't know which to go for. Incorporated trustees or company limited by guarantee. You've been able to have clarifications on live radio now, and I think that you might want to take the decisions correctly. The last time I had, I said, please let them know I'm not a CAC staff. I'm just here to educate, and that's exactly what she's doing. So you would want to come up on 0707 242 6258. When we had pick to pick, it's been challenging. I don't know, the calls are not coming through, and I've spoken with my engineers if there's something they can do so that we're able to have your calls, because it's important that you don't groan with your questions. I remember that while we talked with your corporate law teacher last week, she said we can also request if you can send a text should you not get us through the call on 0707 242 6258. You can send a text message to the same number, 0707 242 6258, and we will take your question or contribution live on radio. The numbers again, 0707 242 6258. Now, I'm looking at profits now, and someone says, when you talk of funding and credibility, you had cited instance where the incorporated trustees are not meant to make money, but sometimes donations come. Yeah. So help us make sense of this. From your experience, which structure gives more credibility with international donors, corporate partners, or grant-making bodies, and why? Which among these two? Is it the incorporated trustees that gives opportunity for international donors to support more, or the company limited by guarantee? Which one? Because we intend that we make sense of this going forward. I've known quite a number of NGOs that they tell you they are not profit-making organizations, but sometimes supports have come from outside. So let's have a clearer understanding when it comes to funding and credibility of these two businesses.
Oh, this is a very brilliant question.
I'm standing. She makes me feel good. I wanted you earlier, but I'm here. Yes,
this is a very brilliant question. I actually didn't even think about that while I was preparing for this stuff, I think it's a very good one.
I love this. She's making me. I will have Coke. No, you have had to pay for that.
No, it's a bit dicey.
Okay.
So, but generally, a lot of non-profit organization register as incorporated trustee.
Mm-hmm.
But if you ask me,
Yes,
just
please.
like you say, in terms of credibility and
Funding.
yes, to attract funding,
Yes,
from international bodies. Yes, an incorporated trustee will fly, but a company limited by guarantee gives you that, I think it provides more credibility, right?
Okay.
Because it has a very formal structure. It has directors, and they are going to be guided by all the rules of running a company in Nigeria as provided for under CAMA. So it's the fact that it's a company limited by guarantee does not exempt them. So it's going to be dealt with properly as a structured company. So that one allow more structure. It's more formal, and when you are talking about credibility, I mean, these are the things that gives credibility to whatever you do, where it is more structured, it is very formal, and it allow probing, it allow the rules and regulation of corporate compliance applies to it, as opposed to NGO, as opposed to incorporated trustee, yes, that is exempted from a lot of all these things. Incorporated trustee is just the members, the trustees, that are incorporated with CAC, and CAC has a lot of oversight function on it, because it does not have that very the kind of company structures that registered company have. Incorporated trustee does not have it, so they do a lot of things, and they can just that the law may not frown at. So if you are talking about credibility and you want to attract large scale funding, so for instance, you have a charity, or you have like an intention to do like a give back to your society in terms of education, or you want to go into some very large scale developmental project, for
borehole waters.
Oh, that is even small scale.
Okay. The ball is over 2 million now. Okay.
Small scale.
In my village. Okay, cause
so it's best to do incorporated company limited by guarantee.
Okay.
Yes.
Now let's see. We have a limited time, and because you're not coming through with your questions, Cousin has given me the feelings that I'm asking the right questions, and for us, you would always follow us on her socials so that you're able to make sense of some of these conversations. I would always ask that she gives her number should we have a challenge reaching you. Some people had to chat me personally that know me. I had to share your number with them. I don't know, you might have received calls from some cheap race at some point. You give me something. I just had to put that there now. Now let's talk about compliance burden, right, Cousin? Because I don't think that the two share the same burdens.
Yeah.
So you talk to us. Which one comes with heavier? Okay, finally somebody has pulled through. Let me see if we can register you live on radio, Cousin. Good morning. Turn it down, please. I've been longing to have you. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you for joining us. Your name and where you're calling from?
Yes, I'm calling from there.
Okay.
Close to Abuja.
All right, Cousin. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I'm interested. I had the discussion with Madam.
Okay. She's a lawyer.
Like as I'm talking, my name is Richard.
Okay,
I'm a
Richard.
retiree.
Okay.
How do I form a company? I want to assist on how to form a company that will run a business.
Okay. While you were talking, she said, okay, he's a retiree. How can I help him now? Talk to the man.
Okay. Thank you for your question. Is he off the call?
Yes, he's off. I had to let him go so that he listens from his radio.
Okay.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. That is a very broad one. So that's why I was shaking my head. How do I package this into like a 5-second response?
Okay, now look at what happens. We will give your number. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Richard, I will release our number so that we will not take so much time on responding to you. You can talk to her on personal basis and she will respond. I promise you that, right?
Yes, very well.
Thank you so much. So let's hear this. Which one comes with heavier regulatory and reporting requirements, and what should founders realistically prepare for? Talking about incorporated trustees and company limited by guarantee.
Cause who groomed you for this?
I have a producer called Mamsti, so I'm loving it. I told her, I said, what's happening? Okay. I told her, I said, my corporate law teacher will say, okay, this is not the usual discussion. The man of God is ready. And I told her, I said, she would be producing the segment going forward because I want this heavy, I want it sweeter.
Okay.
All right?
Thank
So
you,
the
coach.
compliance burden, which one is with heavier regulatory and reporting requirements? What should founders realistically prepare for?
Okay, I think that in terms of compliance,
Yes,
just
Colin.
like I said earlier, company limited by guarantee is more structured, and it's a full-blown company. All the requirements and compliance for companies is expected of it. So
Okay.
in terms of compliance, company limited by guarantee actually has more compliance.
Okay.
With more structure comes more compliance,
I heard
right?
this, yeah.
Especially with CAC and in terms of maybe tax and with other compliance and regulatory bodies.
Okay.
So, but I mean, the difference is not so much.
All right.
And it's nothing out of the world. It's a doable thing. So I mean, because you are operating as a properly structured company, every compliance that is required of a company will be required of you. But for an incorporated trustee, it has like a lesser compliance duties.
You heard that, cousin.
Yeah.
Now, we've got a limited time, so I'm trying to put one or two, find the fundamental questions and ask. But I did tell Richard that he will hear your number, and some of the cousins who are listening to that might want to put some questions to you. You would reach. Let me see if I can dial the numbers. You will call it your number where we can get it. If I'm able to get it under 30 seconds, it means that this cousin outside of the radio with me has been able to get it too. So let's hear the numbers that we can call you for personal questions, like the broader question asked by Richard. What number should we get you on?
080-3456.
You see how you are running? You said what?
080-3456-7611.
Please take it again.
080-3456-7611.
So let me put a professional touch to it, the way I call it. She's a lawyer, by the way. I'm the broadcaster here. So here how I'm going to call the numbers for you so that you get it in group. 0803, you got that now? 456, you got that now? 7611. Again, the numbers 0803 456 7611. I believe you have it. If not, I'll still call it out for you. Let's talk growth, because some people would want to tell you that. I'm thinking maybe you will help us. If a small community NGO starts an incorporated trustees and later grow big, can it transition to a company limited by guarantee?
Okay, I think a simple answer would be a no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, why is that? Because it's registered as an incorporated trustee.
Yeah, so
okay.
It's just like saying...
So you need to go for the one that will stay...
Just like saying you were born a girl, and then halfway...
Oh, she's the lawyer. Become a man. There are brethren doing that.
Well, it's not allowed in Nigeria.
I heard that.
It's a criminal offense.
Very true. Yes. Now, let's see if you can give some advice before we go, because our time is off already. If someone listening today wants to start a non-profit next month, what 3 things should they consider before choosing either structure? It is the incorporated trustee or the company limited by guarantee.
Okay, so just to summarize what we have talked about, remember I said earlier when I was talking about the difference, I said one of the major distinctive difference is the fact that one of these entities allow you to actually make profit, to do business and make profit.
And that's
what matters,
by guarantee.
What matters now is what you do with that profit. It's not for you.
Okay.
It's put back into the company.
Yeah.
So if you're considering registering a non-profit organization, you should look at what your organization is set up to do.
Okay.
Are you purely like a charity organization or a religious organization or a community association who have no intention in engaging into any form of business at all? If you're that, then you should go for incorporated trustee. But if you have intentions of, trading or doing some form of business to raise funds or to expand the aims and objective of your charity or your organization, you should go with company limited by guarantee, because that will allow you to, trade in business or do business, but your profit must be put back into the company. It is not for you to enjoy or for you to share with the directors.
I heard that. So, cousin, you are with us, and I believe that we've made quite a lot of sense on this edition of Morning Parade with yours truly, cousin on radio and corporate law teacher, where I told you that your business dream should become a reality. But most times, compliance around registration and how to go about it has always been a major thing. Now, you've got questions that you would want to ask your corporate law teacher. because the time is not quite sufficient for us to stay and respond to you the way you would want. She's got you from now till another Monday, so you can engage with her on her numbers 0803 456 7611. The numbers again 0803 456 7611. I don't want some cousin to keep speculating. Your dream of having your company is possible. And that's why we deliberately went on how to register your organization as an incorporated trustees or a company limited by guarantee. Now, you see, you have said something here that I needed to put in the public space again and then have you talk a little. Both are for non-profit entities, but we need to understand when to go the way of incorporated trustees or company limited by guarantee. So in few words again, because radio is transient, somebody just joined and is like, I didn't hear what she had said from the time she started. Tell us briefly before we go away.
Okay.
Yes, cousin.
So that will be me repeating what I just
Very
said
important
earlier.
in summary. Because I love that some cousin who just joined should not just be left out till next week. It's going to be a long time.
Exactly.
Talk to them.
So just like I said earlier, if you want to go into a non-profit organization, if you are like an association, if you are like a community group, you know, like school alumni, religious organization, charity organizations, incorporated trustee is very suitable for you. Okay. But like I said, you know, a lot of these organizations depend on funding.
Very true.
They depend on donations to get money. But if you want to, you know, engage in some form of business, right? To be able to raise fund, it's best for you to go with incorporate company limited by guarantee, because that gives you a window to actually do business. You are a full-blown company. You can trade, you can do business. But the difference there is that because it's a company limited by guarantee, whatever profit you make from the business must be put back into the organization, into the company, or to expand or propagate your aims and objectives.
All right.
And cause I didn't tell you,
next
week Monday we are going to be talking about something very important.
All right.
And that I know that is another topic that a lot of your cousins out there will be interested in: compliance with school.
Compliance with what?
So I don't know if it's an acronym. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it properly, but SCUM is SCUML.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So we'll talk broadly about it next week.
Now look at what happens. By that next week, you will know what S stands for, what C stands for, what U stands for, what M stands for, and what L stands for. But we must have a big thank you to say to the lawyer, Helen, my cousin, live on radio broadcast. You have more questions, reach us on 0803 456 7611. So the real takeaway is this: both structures are legal,
Yes.
non-profits, but your mission, funding, goals, governance style, and future growth should determine which path to take. As my producer, Mamsti, said I should wrap up this. A big thank you to you, cousin. It showed. The thing worked.
Thank you so much for having me.
See you next week at exactly 9:30. She will be on. But I requested that if she can make it by 9, let's get engagement from that time so that we're able to allow broader questions like the one Richard would have wanted answers to. Stay here. Your hygiene and your environment comes up with Ruth Dabo. Last week we missed her, but she's here now. And I'm hoping that you will have another interesting moment with her live radio broadcast. Bob Genesis, the Gospel Toucher cousin on radio, remains my name. A beautiful morning to you. Thank you. Yeah, cousin, how you doing? So why you say? I said I like that production. Don't what the production is not like it. No, I like it like that. I like it like that. Because you know I have a live program. I have a live program by 12.
Oh, really?